digression here. David Lynch recently passed away, and I wanted to get to this video sooner, but been distracted by the dark shroud encroaching from the south. That's been delayed 30 days or so. We'll see what happens. So now I can talk about Elephant Man. This is one of my favorite David Lynch movies. Though, after watching a David Lynch movie, it's easy for that one to be one of your favorites. They're all favorites, really. Maybe not Dune. This came out in 1980, I believe, and stars Anthony Hopkins, John Hurt, and Badcroft. John Hurt plays the Elephant Man, John Merrick. John Merrick is a real person, though I'm not sure how accurate the movie is. Maybe I'll read up on that. If you're not familiar with the Elephant Man, you may have heard some lines from it without realizing it, but I'll go ahead and read the back for you. You know, that's not too bad. It's fairly legible. Interesting. Okay, so a stunning new 4K restoration of The Elephant Man, with both picture and sound overseen by revered director David Lynch. This collection is the perfect celebration of the film's 40th anniversary. Looks like I purchased this 5 years ago. John Merrick, as mentioned, played by John Hurt. I think John Hurt was nominated for an Academy Award. That sounds right to me. John Merrick is the Elephant Man, forced into circus sideshows and spurned by society because of the disfiguring disabilities he was born with. Rescued by a well-meaning surgeon, played by Anthony Hopkins, he tries to escape a life of prejudice and cruelty as he attempts to fit into a world ruled by Victorian sensibilities. Beautifully shot in black and white by the incomparable Freddie Francis. The Elephant Man is an unforgettable story of human dignity and survival. I'd agree with that. If you're not familiar with David Lynch movies, this would be a good one to start with from an approachability standpoint. It's straightforward for David Lynch. Rated PG. Yeah, that's the UK rating system. I'm not too sure what the Canadian rating is for, but I imagine around the same. this pretty elaborate, pretty intricate packaging here, so I bought this when it came out. There wasn't a standard version at first. They make they don't make, but the impulse buyers such as myself, when a new movie comes out that they really enjoy, and there's no standard, I just end up buying one of these collector's editions, and then like 6 months later, the standard comes out, and it's substantially cheaper, and I get upset that I spent the extra money on cardboard. But I like this movie enough where it's not that big of a deal. But it has a little pop out here. Pretty neat. That's the model, the Elephant Man. Merrick is one of his models in the movie he's creating. I'm not sure if, I imagine this is a real church, a real cathedral somewhere in the world. I'll have to look that up too. So in addition to the little pop out there, there's also some art cards. Postcards, I don't know. Just some moments from the movie. That's the Elephant Man there. Sorry, John. Real easy costume if you're running short on time. As long as you don't take the mask off, then it becomes a very difficult costume. Looking pretty fancy there, Anthony. More Anthony Hopkins here. Nice peepers there. Okay, so that's all. And there's this booklet as well. It's a pretty thick booklet. Feels well made enough. There's a heft to it, and the paper quality, the stock, doesn't feel too cheap. Oh, there's the cathedral. Clearly I haven't read this book. Anyways, Elephant Man is a really beautiful movie. There's some scenes that really stick with you. Well, they did for me anyways. And not necessarily the scenes where the Elephant Man is being treated like an animal and not a human being. But these really tender moments that John Merrick shares with a few of the characters here. One of them, Anne here was played by Anna Gordon, so there's a scene in this movie when the Elephant Man is looking at a picture of his mother. And I found it to be a very, very moving scene. there's another scene as well with that's right, Mrs. Kendall, the actress, reciting Romeo and Juliet. That's not really spoiling anything, but be on the lookout for those scenes if and when you watch this movie. See if you agree. David Lynch, for the most part, his movies are fairly well represented on 4K. So this came out through Studio Canal. I don't think it has a US release yet, a North American release. But it's really easy to import 4K movies. And they're virtually region free, though the Blu-ray in this is region coded. In addition to Elephant Man, there's Blue Velvet that recently came out on 4K. Mulholland Drive, that may be his most popular, but Twin Tweaks is probably his most well known. I'm not sure. I never taken like a poll or anything. Oh, what else? Dune. And that may be it. So, No Eraserhead. Wild at Heart. Straight Story. I wouldn't expect. Oh, Lost Highway, that has a 4K release. Yep, it's a pretty good one too. And Inland Empire. I'd be surprised if that one gets a 4K release just due to how it's filmed. You would be gaining very much from a 4K release. But that's not bad. That's a pretty good selection of movies there from his filmography that have been restored for 4K. Well, not specifically 4K, but they happen to be out of 4K releases. And again, definitely think The Elephant Man is his most approachable movie. The presentation here, a 4K presentation, is pretty good. I don't recall anything about it that was unfortunate. Maybe though the audio in this, it did say the audio was approved, but I found the audio to be a little on the thin side. It sounded pretty filtered to me. So you have to turn it up, and granted, I am a deaf person. Not literally deaf, but I should be wearing hearing aids. But this is one of I have a lot of movies, and when only a handful of them require me to adjust the volume specifically for the movie, that tends to mean that it's something inherently wrong or not so great about the source itself. So, watch this movie if you haven't. I have a feeling you'll really enjoy it. Thanks for watching.